This is a Yoga for Runners sequence. It's 30 minutes long. Go ahead and hit play if you are using the Spotify playlist, and then you'll start in a downward facing dog. Once you get in downward facing dog, bend your right knee and press your left heel down and hold for a few breaths. And then bend your left knee, press your right heel down, hold for a few breaths. And then after you do both sides, you'll go ahead and switch it out a few times. Bend the right knee, then press the left heel. While you do this, you want to keep pressing the opposite heel down. Now go ahead and press both heels down at the same time. Lift your hips up a little bit higher. Feel the sides of your waist long and focus on the breath right here. Big inhales, big exhales. And as you do this, slowly start to walk your hands towards your toes. So you're coming into a ragdoll position at the edge of your mat. From here, the upper body releases, and then deep bend in the right knee and deep bend in the left knee. This will loosen up the hamstrings. Deep, deep stretch right here. And keep doing this a few times. Let the head fall heavy. This video here is going to focus on strength, specifically strengthening and toning the lower half of the body, the legs. All right, after you take a few breaths in ragdoll, go ahead and walk your fingertips forward. Go back to downward facing dog. Float your right leg up. Bend your right knee and peel your hips open. You might want to wiggle out the hip or shake out the ankle a few times, prepping for some standing postures. Then extend the right leg straight. Pull forward, squeeze the right knee in towards your chin. Prop up onto your fingertips. Pull your chest away from your thighs. Keep the back toes tucked. Bounce your hips up and down a few times. Getting some circulation in the hips right here. And then pull your hips forward and back a few times. So just any tiny movements that feel good. And then you release your back leg, back knee, back foot. Send your hips back, come into a half split. In this half split, extend the right leg straight. Flex the right toes towards you. Upper body releases. And then crawl your fingertips forward. From here, step back into a high plank position and then go back into a downward facing dog. Float your left leg up, bend your left knee, and then peel your hips open. Same thing here, so feel the left hip opening up. Roll out the ankles, shake out the knee a few times. And then extend your leg straight, pull it forward into a high plank position, squeeze your knee in towards your chin, set your left foot down, drop your back knee, before you drop your back knee, stay propped up onto your fingertips and bounce your hips up and down a few times. And then move your hips forward and back. And after you take some movements, getting some circulation in the hips, go ahead and take half split. So send your hips back, flex your front toes towards you, upper body releases over top of your left thigh. And then coming forward, this time you're going to step the right foot up to meet your left foot. So you'll come to the top edge of your mat. I just need to adjust the music quickly, but you'll stay at the top edge of your mat. And then inhale, lengthen to a flat spine. Pull the top of your head forward, core tight. Release into a forward fold. Rise all the way up to standing. Take a big inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Plant your hands down, step your feet back. Sun salutation here. High plank to low plank. You can always drop to your knees and take a baby cobra or an upward facing dog. Then tuck your toes, send your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Few breaths here. Moving through sun salutation 2 more times. So go ahead and float your heels, bend your knees, step or hop your feet in between your hands. Lengthen halfway, forward fold, release. Rise all the way up, full body stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Plant your hands down, step your feet back. High plank to a low plank, cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, getting some circulation, blood flowing here. Heels lift, knees bend. And stepping or hopping your feet in between your hands. It's really warming up the body here. Lengthen, flat spine, inhale. Fold forward, then full body stretch, reach high. Forward fold. Lengthen halfway, Hands down, feet go back. High plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. From here, right foot steps in between your hands, prepping for warrior one. So you'll drop your back heel. Take your hands to your hips and keep your hips square here. So really pull that left hip next to your right hip. Good, and once you feel the hips next to each other, you can adjust your stance if you need to, but once you feel the hips next to each other, go ahead and rise all the way up, warrior one shape, and then reach your arms overhead. Be holding this here. If you tuck that left hip up towards your left rib cage, you'll feel a nice stretch through that left hip flexor. Really, really good for runners. And you want to strengthen the legs by sinking a little bit deeper into your right knee. Good, and keep breathing. Take your palms together to heart center. Open up to warrior two. Feel the right hip opening up. And then as you inhale, reach both arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, press both arms down, sink a little bit deeper into that warrior two. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press it down. Keep going, keep breathing. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, press the arms down, bend into that right knee. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, warrior two. Pause here. Good, now flip your front palm, reverse your warrior, and feel a stretch from your right hip all the way up to your right fingertips. Keep your left leg strong. Keep your chest opening, and then take a big inhale, then fold forward, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot comes in between your hands. Warrior one, left side. So find the position with your feet, left toes facing forward, right toes at an angle. Then take your hands to your hips. Pull your right hip so it's next to your left hip. Once your hips are square, rise all the way up. And then reach your arms overhead. Good, feel both legs active here. Pressing through both heels, reaching up with your fingertips. Now take your palms together to heart center. Open up to warrior two. Eye gaze over top of your fingertips. And now as you inhale, both arms come up a few inches with your hips. And as you exhale, sink your hips low, press your arms down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach. Both arms up, breathe in, full inhale, then full exhale. Sink a little bit deeper into your warrior two. Inhale, reach your arms. Exhale, warrior two. One more time, inhale, breathe in. Exhale, warrior two. From here, flip your front palm, reverse. Stay for a few breaths. Feel the left side of your waist, left ribcage opening up. Take one more giant inhale. Good. And then after your next inhale, as you exhale, move through high plank to a low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Feel a stretch through the entire back side of your body here. And then lift your heels, bend your knees, step or hop your feet. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Utkatasana, seated chair. Hips go low, arms reach high. More weight into your heels, sides of your waist long. Good. And keep squeezing your inner thighs together and find a point of challenge here. Then sweep your arms back behind you as you rise to your tiptoes. Good, then as you inhale, reach your arms overhead, weight back into your heels, and then exhale, shift to your tiptoes, sweep the arms behind you. Inner thigh squeezing together. Inhale, reach, hips staying low. Exhale, arms reach behind you. Inhale, reach the arms high overhead. And then exhale, reach the arms behind you. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. And then as you exhale, reach the arms behind you. One more time, shift the weight back into your heels and then take a forward fold, release. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Hands down, step your feet back. High plank to low or chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right foot steps in between your hands and come up to a crescent lunge so that back heel stays lifted. Again, take your hands to your hips, square off your hips here. You can always widen your stance. And then reach your arms overhead. Good, and again, feel that stretch through the left hip flexor. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, sweep the arms behind you, just like you were doing in Utkatasana. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, sweep the arms back behind you. Lots of work through the right thigh. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, core stays tight. Sweep the arms behind you. Lift through your triceps. Inhale, reach high. Keep your hips low. And then exhale, sweep the arms. Good. One more time. Inhale, breathe in. As you exhale, hinge forward. This time, float the back leg up. And keep the arms reaching overhead so you come into a warrior three shape. Again, your hips are still square, left hip next to your right. Your core is tight. Arms can reach overhead, or you can take your hands together to heart center if you feel any pain in your lower back. Then strengthening through your right leg. As you inhale, bend your right standing leg. Exhale, press back up. The slower the better with this. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, press back up. You should feel all the muscles in your right leg working. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, press back up. Keep the left leg active. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, press back up. Inhale, lower down. And then land back in a crescent lunge. Find your position here with crescent lunge. And then carefully drop down onto your back knee. And release your back foot. Interlace the hands at your tailbone. You can grab a towel if you cannot connect the hands and palms. And then squeeze the shoulders. So you rinse out through your shoulders here and the chest pulls open and forward. Legs are still working. And then stay here or press into your back foot and lift that back leg up slightly. So now taking more work into the left thigh. You only need to do this for a few breaths to feel it. And as you feel ready, release, lower down. Send the hips back, coming into that half split that you did at the beginning. This time we'll hold it a little bit longer. So really good for your hamstrings. Really good for the entire back side of your front leg, your calves. You can grab a hold of your right foot with either hand and pull the toes closer towards you if you're not feeling the stretch. Just make sure that you're not scrunching up through the upper half of your body. Good, then after a few breaths there, go ahead and make your way back to a high plank position. And drop to your forearms for our forearm plank. Before switching to the left side, we'll take a little pause here in forearm plank. You stay there. Flatten everything out. Your neck, your spine. Keep pulling your hips up towards your rib cage and keep breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Building strength through your core right here. Dropping your knees at any time if you need to. Now from here, squeeze your thighs, knees, and ankles together if they're not there yet. Drop your hips over to the right. And stay for a few breaths. Both forearms still pressing into your mat. And feel the right side of your waist working. And then go ahead and switch up and over, opposite side. Left side. And then go ahead and take it back to center. If you need a baby cobra, go ahead and take it and meet back in downward facing dog. After downward facing dog, we're going to move into that crescent series on the left side. So pull the left foot in between your hands. Take your hands to your hips and reach the arms overhead. Good. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, sweep the arms back behind you. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, sweep the arms behind you. Lots of weight into your left heel. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, sweep the arms behind you. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, sweep the arms behind you. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, sweep the arms behind you. Inhale, reach your arms high. And now transition into warrior three, T-shape with the body. Hands stay overhead or hands to heart center. Feel your hips here. Make sure they're square. Right hip next to your left. Inhale, lower down. Then exhale, press back up. Inhale, bend your left knee. Exhale, press back up. Inhale, bend your left knee. Exhale, press back up. Inhale, bend your left knee. Exhale, press back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press. Inhale, lower. And then land in crescent lunge. Carefully drop down your back knee and back foot. Interlace the hands behind you. Squeeze the shoulders if you can. Squeeze the palms together. Remember, you can always use a towel right here. Chest is open. Stay or press into the right foot and lift your back leg up. Doesn't need to be high, just a few inches. Good, then carefully release, lower down. Half split, hands to either side of your left foot. Carefully send your hips back and flex your toes towards you. Upper body's released. And then go ahead and make your way out of that high plank. And lower down, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, lift your heels high, bend your knees, feet in between your hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold, release. Go ahead back to Utkatasana, seated chair. And from here, big challenge for your legs. Go ahead and bring your palms together. Lift your heels high. So coming into toe stand, inner thighs are squeezing together, so everything glued. And start to sink your hips low. Keep your heels high. Knees pull forward. Chest starts to lift. Shoulders over top of your hips. And then when you get to your lowest point, focus on one spot in front of you and hold it there. And breathe. Slowly come out of that, weight back into your heels. And then go ahead and release into a forward fold. Give your legs a little bit of a stretch. And we'll go ahead and do that again. So hips low, arms reach high. Rise to your tiptoes. Bring the palms together to heart center. And this time you're going to lower down and then come up slightly, like a few inches. Yeah, and then go ahead and lower down again. So staying in the contraction the entire time, lift back up. Lower down, lift back up. Lower down, your legs should be on fire right now. Lift back up. Lower down, stay with it. Back up, and then go back to Utkatasana, and then your forward fold release. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Hands down, step your feet back. High plank, low plank, upward facing dog or cobra. Big exhale, empty out, downward facing dog. Good, take your right foot in between your hands, drop your back heel, and then you'll be in warrior one position with your legs, but stay low with the upper body. That right shoulder is gonna crawl underneath your right thigh. And then you'll hook your right hand to your right ankle, and maybe you hook it with your left hand too. So both hands grab your ankles, left hip pulls next to your right hip, and you should feel that shoulder. If it's not underneath your right thigh, maybe it's right next to it. Just feel the right thigh opening up. And try to stay low with your hips. Now, reach the left arm overhead, reach the right arm overhead, legs stay where they are, core stays tight, keep breathing. Reach both arms overhead, warrior one. Interlace your hands at your tailbone, squeeze your shoulders, lift your chest open, fold forward into a humble warrior, stay low. Your legs are still in that same position. Building strength through the right side, especially through the right side of your leg. Releasing through your shoulders. And now inhale, reach high, warrior one. Open up to warrior two, flowing through. Inhale, reverse. And then exhale, high plank to a low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot in between your hands. It's warrior one shape with your legs. And then that left shoulder crawls underneath your left thigh. So you reach inside and then around, catching a hold of your left ankle with your left hand, and then your right ankle with your right hand. I'll get back into it right here. Both legs active here. Keep pressing open your left hip. Utilizing the breath. Now go ahead and reach your right arm forward overhead towards the front of your room. And then the left arm overhead. Good. Stay in it for a few breaths. And then press into that left heel. Rise all the way up, warrior one. Interlace your hands at your tailbone. Squeeze your shoulders. Lift your chest open. Fold forward, release. Staying low in your humble warrior. And then come all the way up. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Open up, hands to heart center, then open up into warrior two. Flow through. Inhale, reverse. And then high plank. Lower down. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And now start to walk your feet forward from your downward facing dog. Your feet will stay wide and you can adjust. You want to be, you're going to take the feet wide and you want to make sure that they're still on the mat. So if you need to turn sideways onto your mat, go ahead and do so. But you're coming into a forward fold with wide legs. The toes can be turned out slightly and just keep releasing through the upper half of your body. Then take your hands to your hips, come all the way up to standing. Turn your toes out even more. Pyramid pose. So almost done with the legs right here. Last one, we'll be holding it for a little while. Just bend both knees and then drop your hips low. And then you can stay right here if this is enough of a challenge for you, or you can start crawling your hands down your legs, so maybe more to the inside of your knees. Use the elbows to press open your thighs. You can grab your calves, you can grab your ankles. Find your lowest point of challenge, and then once you're there, stay there and breathe. It might feel good to wiggle the hips side to side a few times, so give your body some freedom here, whatever movements feel natural. Good, and still stay with it. And staying low, bend into your right knee, and then that left leg naturally will extend straight. The toes will flex up. So coming into this side lunge here, really, really good for the inner thigh stretch. And then again, if it feels good, if it feels natural for your body, keep doing it. Go ahead and switch over. So bend your left knee, right leg, extend straight. If this is too much for you or you're too low, you can do this a little bit higher. If you want more strength for your legs, take your hands to heart center. And then do this without your hands and you'll develop a little bit more strength for your legs. So lots of different ways to modify this. If you just want to stay in that forward fold with wide legs and crawl side to side, that works too. Yeah, so you can do it high, you can do it low. Just keep moving from side to side. If one side feels a lot tighter than the other, you can stay there and breathe, but eventually you're going to make your way into this frog shape. So frog shape, you just keep both knees wide and the upper body releases. You can either stack your palms and make a little pillow for your forehead, or you can crawl your fingertips forward, or arms can be out to the side. Deep, deep release through your hips. Good. Try to breathe through the discomfort. So as you inhale, send that breath oxygen to where you're feeling it, probably in your hips right here. And exhale. Allow some tension and tightness to release, exit your body. And then slowly start to crawl forward, however you need to get out of here. And then depending on where you are, just adjust if you need to, but make your way onto your backside, onto your mat. So you're laying down onto your mat, and then half pigeon laying down. That right foot comes on top of your left thigh. And then if you need more of a stretch, you can reach inside your thigh and pull it in closer towards you. But feel your right hip pressing open, right hip releasing. So the frog gets the inside of the thighs, inside of your hip. This will get the outside edge of your hip. Just focusing on the right side, and then switching over to the left side. So the left foot comes on top of your right thigh. And then same thing here. That might be enough for you, or you can bend the knee a little bit deeper. You can reach inside, grab a hold of your thigh, pull it in closer towards you. You can always extend that leg up towards the ceiling, and sometimes that can help deepen your stretch. All right, then carefully releasing out of that. Both knees into your chest. And then release into Shavasana. We did a lot of work through the hips, so the feet can stay together, knees apart, and arms overhead. Or you can just go to regular laying down position with the legs extended, arms down by your side, palms facing up. Go ahead and close your eyes. You can stay here in Shavasana. If you're doing the second part of the series, then you can go ahead and get started with that one. That one focuses on the core. Stay as long as you need to in Shavasana. Namaste.